And welcome back to Love Your Food. This week we're doing some more Christmas baking right in time for Christmas. This one is for Russian tea cookies, also known as Mexican wedding cookies. They're very, very similar and are actually pretty similar to the shortbread we did last week. Now I'd like to remind everyone we have an affiliate link with Chef's Temp if you need a new kitchen thermometer. Please check the link in the description below, and if you use code LOVEYOURFOOD on checkout, you'll get 15% off your order. And now our ingredients. So we've got some AP flour, just regular flour. Some butter, again, you want some room temperature soft butter. Some plain, just regular white sugar. A little bit of salt. We're going to be using some vanilla paste, again, you can use vanilla extract as well. Some pecans. And some powdered sugar for dusting on the outside at the end. So the first thing we're going to do is we've got our pecan halves here. We're going to toast those and make sure they've got some nice color on them and they're nice and toasty. And then we're going to cream together, while that's going on, the butter and sugar. So the butter and the white sugar are going to go in there together, along with the vanilla paste, and also that little bit of salt. And we're just going to cream that together until it's nice and fluffy and everything's well combined. And this is going to make the basis of our cookies, along with, of course, the flour and the powdered sugar that you saw. That's strictly at the end for a garnish, for dusting at the very, very end. So we're going to cream that together in our mixer here. You're, of course, going to want to scrape down the sides every once in a while, as well as scraping off your paddle. In the middle here, ours does a pretty good job at getting everything out of the bowl, but tends to accumulate stuff on the paddle itself. So, you just want to make sure that you're keeping all of that in the bowl and getting mixed together and not just stuck to the paddle. Meanwhile, our pecans have come out of our toaster oven and they are ready to go. So we are going to just chop those. Now you can also start with chopped pecans. You don't have to do this with pecan halves if you already have chopped pecans. We want to get them pretty fine. We don't want any like huge chunks in there. So we're going to chop them up until they're pretty fine. Now you don't want them to be a powder either, but you don't want big pieces. So that's going to go into our creamed butter and sugar. And this adds this beautiful sort of toasty, nutty aroma to this. We love to use pecans in this, and in goes the flour. We're just going to add all of the flour in one batch. And then the mixer goes down again, and we're just going to mix this together. Now for this one, it comes together into sort of a shaggy dough. It's not going to really hold together super well. You do want to make sure, again, that you're scraping it down partway through. Make sure that you're getting everything off that paddle and that there's no uncombined butter underneath what you can see in your bowl. So you're just going to scrape up from the bottom and make sure that everything's well mixed in there. And you can see it's chunky. It's a little bit rough right now. And that's about where it's going to end up. Honestly, we don't want it to go much further than this. These aren't a super moist cookie. They're a cookie that's designed to go with coffee or tea, and they're a fairly dry, sort of crumbly cookie. And we're just going to portion this out using a couple of spoons, and then roll them into balls. And this is one of those, super easy recipes where you can make a bunch of these in advance, pop them into a zipper bag in the freezer or some kind of container in the freezer, and just pull out a few whenever you want some fresh cookies. We're going to cook some fresh ones right now, and you can put them pretty close together on the pan because they're not going to spread out. They just don't spread very much. They shouldn't flatten out or anything like that. They should remain mostly round. Now you're going to see when they come out, they do spread a little tiny bit because there's butter and sugar in there, but they're going to mostly keep their shape, and you want them to be round when they come out. So we put those into our preheated oven. And then once they are done, very much like the shortbread, we don't want a lot of color on these. You can see they just barely spread a little tiny bit, and they're still pretty round. They got a little bit of color on the bottom, and that's just about right. Now we're going to transfer those while they're still hot. We're going to transfer those onto a rack. We want them to cool down just a little, and we want them to go into the powdered sugar while they're still quite warm, but not really, really hot out of the oven, because we sort of want that sugar to kind of melt to them and stick to them that way. Now, if you want these to look absolutely perfect, you're going to want to do this twice. You're going to want to dust them with sugar again before you serve them, because you can see there's little bits where the sugar is kind of melted to them. But then you get that beautiful, crispy, sort of crumbly texture on the inside, and that's it. Super, super easy. Basically, you know, one step up, you know, on the complicated scale from the shortbread we did last week. Super delicious as well. We really hope you'll give this one a try. If you like this recipe, please do like and subscribe. And if you have any recipes you'd like to see Chef Caleb try on the channel, please let us know in the comments below. We'd also like to thank our patrons over on Patreon. If you'd like to help support the channel along with them, we'll put a link in the description below for that as well. And remember to love your food.